Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I'm Justin Allen, and I'm here with
Moses Wartooth.
And we would like to start off with some interesting and funny videos for you today, man. So you want to jump right into our Instagram stuff that we pulled, man? Because this first video really had me laughing.
Yeah, you almost feel bad for the guy. He really got set up for.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but
dude, oh my god. I mean, you said it right, man. Like, he kept his cool.
He did. He handled that extremely professionally.
Because there's no way, I mean, I laugh at everything.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no way I could have kept a straight face. If that would have happened to me, I would just be like, just walk
I'll be like,
off stage.
all right. Who did this?
Oh man, but let's watch it and then we'll let the audience decide what they would have done, right?
What would you do?
Earlier this week when two monkeys from the Dallas Zoo disappeared. But there is good news. The Emperor Tamarin monkeys were, that obviously is not a picture that we expected up there. We have a zoo story we're telling here. And apparently these monkeys vanished from the zoo. And now the suspected thief has also been found. Police say 24-year-old. We're going to step out of this story right now. And Matt, bro, we're going to talk about.
I feel like it was probably something as harmless as like they lined up the photos wrong.
Yeah, because I've seen that happen before. It was just like these two examples were just. You couldn't ask for like better comedy, man.
Just good God, man. I like how he just like professionally exited that shit.
He's like, we're gonna step away from this right now.
Yeah, dude. He's like, I'm not getting canceled right now.
We're doing a zoo story also, so don't get too mad.
Good God Almighty, man. I couldn't do like live news like that, man. That's a world I couldn't be in, dude. Because I just can't. I can't keep a straight face. Like, this is fine. Like, we had to laugh, like, make jokes or whatever. But I just think of too much fucked up shit, man.
And whenever you have to be serious, and, like, that reading the news stories, like, sometimes things that aren't supposed to be funny are going to be hilarious.
Yeah, so, absolutely, man.
Whether it be, like, even if you're reading off the teleprompter and something's messed up or, like, something just doesn't sound right and you read it anyway.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I just couldn't do it, dude. And then, like, a lot of these guys, I mean, they speak so well. As far as like reading it in real time, like I mean, I'm sure they review it quite a bit, but I mean, like, damn, like just off the cuff, and then they're not like stuttering or mispronouncing shit. Like, I mean, sometimes you see it happen, but like, it really doesn't happen all that often, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's their job. Like, they practice that shit.
Yeah, that is true, man. But, dude, I don't know. That guy was set up for failure on that one, dude. I don't know. But I would have been, like, imagine the techs. I'm just going to call them, like, technicians or whatever. I don't know the actual names, like, in the news station. The guys working soundboard. Yeah, doing lights, camera action, all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine what that night was. Because I'm sure they get off work after they do, like, the fucking 7 o'clock news or whatever, and they go probably have a couple of beers.
For a couple drinks.
Yeah. And imagine how much laughter was at that table.
I feel like that anchor had a good sense of humor too. Like, I bet he's seen, like, after that he was like, "Come on, guys!" Like,
God. But imagine being the one kid, like, let's say it was like legitimately an accident. Imagine being the kid who just like totally dropped the ball.
He's like an intern or something, hoping that he gets hired onto the company.
A 22-year-old recently college graduate or whatever, like, oh, I'm gonna work in like journalism or whatever, and he's just like, oh God, wait, like, no, this is supposed to be before that one. Like, oh shit. So I don't know, man, but. It's never surprising with a lot of those videos, man, because I've seen quite a few, man, that are pretty funny. Did you ever see the one about the guy? It's down in like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, like somewhere in that like real Bible Belt South, right? But it's the news anchor, and he's like talking about something. It's a little older recording, like early 2000s, maybe late 90s. And he's talking, he's like covering something. It's like a local thing, like a city thing. Mm-hmm. And some grasshopper like jumps out of the grass and basically like hits him in the mouth, right? And he freaks the fuck out. And then he just goes like super ghetto with his talking. He goes from being very professional
to just losing it.
to losing his shit. And then he just starts talking about like, God damn it, I had it with this fuck Egypt place, like all these bugs and all this crap and blah 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 blah. Like just, and he goes on this whole rant. And they're still recording it. The guy ended up on Tosh.0 over it, like doing a web redemption or whatever. Like I guess repeating like, you know, the fucking coverage that he was supposed to do or whatever. But it was pretty funny, man. Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, I couldn't do that job, man. There's no way in hell, dude. I don't know.
It would be tough.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it with a straight face, man. Like, because you have to be like non-biased, you know. And the easiest way to show your bias is like humor and laughter.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're supposed to take something very seriously, then if you start laughing, obviously everyone knows you don't give a shit about this problem, right? And there's like the majority of problems I really just don't care about. I'm like, whatever, like problems. I'm talking about like made up problems, like Western first world problems, not third world. Dude, it's the second time I've done this on the show, man. But like one job, dude, for sure that falls into that line, man, is like the White House press secretary, man. Like, dude, I don't give a shit if it was the dude I voted for was in power. I could not do that with a straight face.
You want to be talking about set up for failure.
Yeah, every day.
Like they have to walk up to that podium knowing that like at least 50% of the people that they're talking to hates them. They're going to be asking shit that they know that they can't actually answer or don't have an answer for. So then they just have to either blow it off, make up an excuse, or turn it back on the person. And
most of the time they don't even have like a legit like. They're not even told a legit answer. They're told like put some spin on it to make it seem okay. So
or they'll just twist it and turn it back on some like.
Yeah, dude. So those guys get screwed like nonstop, man. That is one job like a press secretary, especially for the president. But I think any kind of like press secretary for like anything, man. Any major corporation,
any kind of like PR type shit.
Fuck no, dude. Because you know when you're getting a call in the middle of the night, that's not good.
Yeah,
that's not good. And they're like, hey, man, we need this. Excuse me, like we need this ready by like 8 a.m. or something. Be like, what? For what? Like, imagine being the PR guy for like Boeing right now. That's gotta suck. That dude is probably liquid diarrhea pooling in his stomach nonstop.
I don't know, man. Like you could. There's two ways of looking at it. You can either get freaked out, or you can be like, this ain't my fucking problem. This is just my job to talk shit to these people. Like, just look at it like I know you people are mad, but you're not mad at me.
Yeah, just separate yourself away from it entirely. Yeah. Like, I'm just the voice. Yeah. Okay. Like,
I'm just the middleman.
Yeah, I didn't do any of this. Okay. Like, I was at my house.
I didn't work on them fucking planes. I'm up here talking to you guys.
You think I'm torquing down fucking engines,
signing off parts that I supposedly inspected.
Yeah. But the reason why I specifically brought up the White House press secretary, man, is because, you know, I mean, they control everything that's released. It's not just her getting in front of a camera talking. I mean, like if you go to the whitehouse.gov website, man, they just publish it nonstop. Anytime they do something, they have like a statement they give. So they put it in writing and then they talk about it and they take questions from like the press and shit like that. And so they did recently, like, what was it? The Trans Day of Visibility or Transgender Day of Visibility.
Yeah. This was released yesterday.
Yeah, dude. And imagine, I don't know, getting hit with that. I would just be like, good God, man. Like, what are we doing here? You know? Like, you really want me to, like, go toe-to-toe for this shit right now? Like, God damn it, man. Do you want to tell us the background for, like, this story or whatever?
Yeah, basically, so as of the date this is published, yesterday was Easter. So the day before that, on Saturday, the White House comes out and they're saying that they want to call Easter, which is Easter, they're changing that to a Transgender Appreciation Day.
Yeah. Like, so, no one stopped and was like, what are you talking about?
We got 364 other days we could do this shit on, but you're gonna pick Easter Sunday to like
a hardcore, like, the only reason that exists is because it is a Christian holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, dude, like, come on,
like,
man.
so
like,
so he's gonna try to please one small community by, and in doing that, he's gonna piss off all the Catholics and all the Christians.
Yeah, alienate himself away from that. And like, I don't know. We were talking about it earlier, man. Like, I guarantee you, he lost votes over that shit.
For sure.
For sure. Because I know, like,
people take religion seriously.
Yeah.
And if you shit on Easter, man, like, come on.
It's like, not on my God.
Yeah, like, I'm not religious at all, but like, we still do Easter shit.
Yeah, man. And so I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And like, once again, like we've always talked about, you're talking about like less than 1% of 1% of the population here. You're trying to appease. And but like, even if you wanted to do that, fine, whatever. I mean, I don't celebrate any of these fucking bullshit days anyway, across the spectrum of everything. But dude, you're gonna do it on Easter? Like, are you fucking retarded? Like, that tells me there has to be some sort of agenda, man.
That to me, that's just a big like fuck you to religion, like religious people.
Yeah,
which
man.
Last time I checked, I mean, they still make up a huge demographic of the American people.
Like the majority,
yeah,
like the vast majority.
Like, even the goddamn immigrants that people are pissed off, most of them are Catholic or Christian.
Yeah.
So like, you're not even winning any fucking like awards on that end. Like, who are you? Like,
yeah, dude.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
They get a whole entire Pride Month. They couldn't have had that day in one of those fucking
specific
days,
day.
man.
Like, you know what? That makes the most fucking sense, right?
I mean, yeah.
So are we just gonna eventually just keep going until we turn into like the entire year is just like alphabet gang appreciation or whatever? It's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I don't give a shit if it's your life. I mean, we covered it a bunch on this show, man. So like, if you think we're being like bigots or whatever, just go back and watch some of our previous shit. Totally cool. Live your life however you want. Go with a libertarian standpoint.
If you think we're a bigot, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, but like, dude, just shut the fuck up, man. Yeah, like, that's really what it comes down to.
Quit trying to shove it down my fucking throat, man.
That's why people are getting so fucking pissed off, and they're like, oh no, like we're being oppressed. Like, no. This has almost nothing to really do with your lifestyle choice. It's you just being honestly, just a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah. And in this case, it's our fucking own government that's pushing this. I mean, it's not even an actual, like, particular group of people. It's our fucking government.
Yeah, like, to make it, like, relatable, like, sorry, man, I've been sick, so, like, my sinuses, coughing and shit. I'm really trying to, like, fight off, like, coughing, guys. But, so, I mean, you want to make it, like, relatable. Like, have you ever been out with a group of friends or whatever? Or, like, you know that one guy in your mutual group of friends or whatever, and it's like, you just don't like that guy because he won't shut the fuck up about something, right? Insert vegan, whatever topic. It can be vegan, it can be political beliefs.
CrossFit.
It could be, like, video games, you name it, whatever the fuck it is. And you're like, just fuck that asshole, right? There you go. That's what the majority of Americans feel with this shit, man. And they're just, like, fucking sick and tired of it.
Yeah, well, we've said it a million times. I'll say it again. People can do whatever the fuck they want to do as long as it doesn't involve us. Like, we should.
And I'm not paying for it.
Yeah,
that's for fucking
shouldn't be forced to get involved in things that I don't care about.
Yeah, and then that's all they do. But like, this is literally the White House. The Biden administration just taking the fucking easy route, dude. It's easy just to come out one fucking day and be like, oh, we're just gonna create like a remembrance day for this, or like a fucking, I don't know, like we're just gonna do something to support some like disenfranchised group of like the fucking population or whatever.
Which again, I don't really care about, but why would you do it on fucking Easter?
Yeah,
that's like the whole thing.
I don't know, man. I'm just like, my thing that pisses me off is there's way bigger issues. Like, why are you feeling people got paid to figure this out and to write this shit out and to do this and to waste their time with it. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, we have way bigger issues to worry about.
As far as I'm concerned, they just spit in the face of Jesus.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you want to get down to it, man. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's the Biden administration, right? Which is funny because he prides himself on being like a hardcore Catholic. And the Catholics are not down with that shit at all.
Man.
No, dude. So, it kind of makes you fucking wonder, man. Like, maybe it's all a show, but give you some levity here. I fucking also believe they're all lizards, so that's really what I'm coming down to, man. They just suck adrenochrome out of Hillary Clinton's
that
asshole.
Full lick on an ice cream, man. That tongue, it's forked. That is a lizard tongue.
You imagine if you ever saw some shit like that, no one would ever fucking believe that shit.
Oh, if you made eye contact with the person, they stuck the tongue out and it's like
it's a forked tongue and they had slits in their eyes for like 2 seconds.
And then just went back to normal, and it'd be like, try proving that, bitch.
So maybe that's what the fuck's happening. I don't know, man. But Biden just, like, his entire administration never ceases to amaze me, man. Like, at all. And he's always in the news about, like, some shit or another. And one thing that we did find with him, like addressing the American people is the recent bridge collapse. I don't think you want to even call it I mean, the bridge did collapse.
It wasn't a collapse. It was a crash, I guess.
Crash, yeah. Singaporean ship like crashed into the bridge in Baltimore, and then it collapsed. You know. So, but he gave some statements on it, man, and it was pretty funny. But we found a really good news company or news channel called Sky News in Australia, and. Dog, I gotta tell you, man, I know we go with like satire, it's very fucking dry. A lot of times people take our shit serious, but the Australians have a whole nother level of sense of humor, dude.
And this is their national news too, and they're saying this shit.
This would be like our CNN or Fox News saying this shit.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and watch this shit, man, and then we'll talk about it because this shit is fucking funny. It's short. It's short.
Well, you would have seen on Sky News last night the Baltimore bridge collapse after it was hit by a cargo ship. Joe Biden loves to put himself at the centre of everything. He was talking about the Baltimore bridge today. Have a careful listen to what he says.
At about 1:30, a container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware on a train or by car.
He's been over the bridge many times by train or by car, except a train has never gone over that particular bridge. There are no train lines at all.
Every bridge is the same bridge to Joe Biden.
Yeah, dude, the Australians talk a whole nother level of shit, dude.
All of them were just laughing at him.
Yeah, dude. I just like how the guy was just like, oh, like as always, essentially like Joe Biden likes to put himself at the center of things. You know,
that was
and it's
good
like,
too.
God, the other people starting to notice this, you know?
Other countries.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I don't know, man. But yeah, that bridge collapse, dude. It was what it was a Singaporean ship, right? But it was a Chinese company operating it.
I think, but
I remember
but the people on the boat weren't of either of those nationalities.
Yeah, who knows?
So,
but it could have just been contractors and stuff like that, or it could have just been like a terrorist operation. Who fucking knows?
Yeah,
right?
but if it was a terrorist operation, you would think. I mean, I guess timing, but you would think that they would have hit it at like 8 a.m. versus 2 a.m. because that's why it didn't kill nearly as many people as possible.
I guess it depends on the type of terrorism you're going for. Are you going for a body count, or are you going for like economic disruption? Disruption. Sorry.
Why not both?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you're gonna
hey, man, 9/11 shut down the stock market for several days and shit like that, man. So, I don't know. But I guess, what was the official story? That they just lost power, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, but
and they just kind of coasted into.
But I don't know, man, because of course, who knows? As always, there's a ton of conspiracy theories about this shit already.
Yeah.
But other people were like, people that supposedly know what they're talking about was like, all of those ships have multiple like fail safes. Like they were like that.
Yeah,
cannot
I remember
break.
reading
like
that.
It was like that does not happen.
I was reading that from like legit sources too.
Yeah.
Man, and they were like, yeah, like there's backups for backups for this kind of shit.
For this shit to not happen.
So I don't know, but it's also, I mean, you start talking about like Southeast Asia, man, like, dog, a lot of those countries, man, like they ain't building shit up to our standards. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of like cutting corners and.
Yeah, but we don't care. We still buy it.
I'm just saying, like, as far as manufacturing ships and stuff, and like, you know what I mean?
Oh, you
like,
mean for the okay? I thought you.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the cargo on the boat.
Yeah, you know.
I was like, that's probably some of my damn Temu shipments, man. I'm not gonna get that shit anymore.
There's probably a lot of fucking TikTok content creators that are pissed off because their Temu shipments aren't coming in.
Hell, where the fuck else am I gonna get my goddamn 12-foot tapestries at for $6?
I'm being attacked by my own government at this point. You know.
I do. Did it ever say like what was on the boat itself? Like I know shipping containers obviously, but like what was in them?
Dude, realistically, to kind of like back out of like any kind of conspiracy theory shit, like dude, it was probably just random ass shit, man. Like looking at it,
because realistic, like even like it wouldn't make sense for someone to crash their own shit into anything, anyways.
Yeah, you would have to have like a serious agenda, or be like probably also seriously paid off to do so.
Yeah, because
you know?
there doesn't really seem to be financial gain for anyone to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into conspiracies here in a minute, but with some other stuff we're going to cover. But I just think, honestly, it's human incompetence, man.
Operator error.
Yeah, I you know.
I mean that really does seem to make the most sense.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I studied chemistry in school, man, and like. In all fields of science, literally, like, one thing you hear all the time is, like, the simplest explanation is often, like, the right explanation.
Yeah.
It's usually that's just kind of like how the universe works.
And hell, according to OSHA, the fucking most accidents are caused by human error. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Like, so who knows, man? I mean, somebody could have fell asleep, or there could have been like miscommunication between shifts or something like that, or they could just be from fucking Singapore and be like, where the fuck are we? Baltimore?
It's 2 a.m. I can't see shit.
They see me rolling. They hating. But I do want to touch this, man. So not to start getting all super pissed off, but one fucking thing that really does make me angry is our government, the federal government, is talking about picking up the tab for all that shit. And paying for all the fucking reconstruction of the bridge.
Dude, are you serious?
You didn't know that?
No.
I really thought you knew that.
I assumed.
Yeah,
that the
100%.
Boat, I assumed there was insurance involved.
Bro, we're about to get there, brother. But 100%. Our government's like, oh, we're gonna pay to repair all this shit, and we're gonna do it right. Now, it's no fucking secret that the infrastructure in America has been deteriorating rapidly.
Yeah.
We haven't put hardly any money into that shit.
Oh, we have tons of funds for it, but that ain't where the money goes.
No. But we rather
We're building
go
roads in Ukraine right now.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I bet Ukraine's gonna have some nice roads and all this
No
shit's fucking
potholes.
over. Yeah,
No potholes.
dude. And
We're
and then,
sinking in them over here.
dude. Oh, Vice covered this shit years ago, man. They talked about like transit systems, like.
Well, hell, plus we got the goddamn gas tax.
Yeah. What's that paying for?
Lying in somebody's pocket.
Yeah, because what was it? It was a little over 18% federal, and then it was like 20% state. State for Texas for us.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck is that paying for? Because I swear to God, hand on the Bible, like whatever. Dude, I drove in roads in Iraq that were better than roads in fucking Texas.
And Texas has better roads than the surrounding states.
Yeah, go to Louisiana. Dude, what the fuck is
Colorado,
going on? Yeah, dude.
Oklahoma.
It's like, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. And then they're like, well, God damn it, you better meet that emissions test.
Right.
Well, Texas doesn't do it. Does Colorado do the emissions test shit? I figured they would.
No.
Right? Really?
Not when I lived there.
Yeah.
They
never
wouldn't
surprised.
surprise me now, but...
But yeah, man, so our government is talking about essentially making me and you and all of you who are listening pay for this fucking Singaporean ship operated by a Chinese company. No Americans did this.
I mean,
And we're going to pick up the fucking tab?
At this point, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, you fuck it. Why not? We'll just print some more for this shit. And my thing is like, dude, if you hit someone with your car, you got insurance, right? That's
Yeah.
why you pay for that shit. I'm sure all those boats have insurance.
They would
and
have
stuff.
to. I mean, if it's anything else,
It's like if you don't, why are you operating this vessel? Like you must have insurance to operate this vessel.
I don't
right?
know. Maybe other countries are different.
Dude. I don't know.
I mean,
man.
every country I've been in, you still had to have that shit.
I'm just fucking saying. Well, no, because you're in America. It doesn't matter. You're operating in America. You're gonna have to follow our laws, man. So like. You're good. They should have insurance, but like, why the fuck are we so quick to jump? Like, no, it's cool. Like, whatever. Don't worry about it.
I mean, look at our history. Look what we do right now. We're
getting
quick to
fucking
jump
tired
on
of it,
anything
man.
as long as it ain't helping our own motherfucking
dude,
people.
imagine if this shit would have happened if Trump was in office.
He'd have been like, we're not paying for that, and if you don't pay by the end of tomorrow, you're out of here.
1000% tariff.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
everything from Singapore.
You're done. China, go ahead and fucking invade them.
We'll sell your ass out. Just take Taiwan while
I'd be
you're
like,
at it.
Taiwan, Singapore, you can have them. Sick of this shit.
I'm just fucking tired of that. Yeah, dude. That's what fucking pisses me off, man. Because you're constantly just like selling out the American people nonstop. And that's not
It
even
ain't
like
their money. They don't give a shit.
Exactly, man. And it's like, it's not even a basis of like political ideology either, man. Like that's Democrats and Republicans doing that all the
Yeah,
same,
for
dude.
sure.
That's literally just like Congress doing that, and I don't know, man. Fuck that, dude. I'm sorry, man.
I'm
like,
tired of
that
being
shit-
the hero. I'm
fuck
tired
it.
of fucking helping
That's not
everybody
even being a
out.
hero. It's like you broke my shit. Fucking fix it and pay for it, bitch. Like, or don't come back. How about that? How about we just fucking stop your entire country from trading with us until you fucking work this out with this private company, right? But I don't fucking know. Who knows, man? Who knows? It could be the biggest conspiracy in the world. That bridge could have been fucked. That bridge could have been like a day from like collapsing on its own naturally, right? Maybe some contracting companies. It could have been like some organized crime shit for all we know. Paid off some fucking dudes on a boat. Was like, hey, man,
Somali pirates.
I'm gonna give you a fucking $100,000. You just need to let the wheels slip, man. We'll pick up the contract.
Let Jesus take the wheel.
Boom, right? The government's gonna bail it out. Who fucking knows, right? But they don't talk about any of these investigations, like what has happened, like what's going on, all this other shit.
Yeah.
But one common fucking denominator that I've noticed is anytime China gets involved, it literally just turns into, we're just going to pay for it and suck their dick. And I'm getting real fucking tired of that shit, man. But we're like, no, but TikTok. God damn
bad.
it. TikTok is bad.
Xi Jinping, bad. But let's clean up San Francisco before the guy comes over.
They're like, oh, well, you see all that shit Gavin Newsom was saying about that shit?
What did he say whenever you got company, you got to clean up the house or some shit?
Yeah, and then, like, nobody was like, how about you do that for your own fucking citizens, man? Like, I don't know, dude.
And then after he left, they took down the fences, tents went back up. It's a regular shithole again.
Yeah, dude. Fuck. God damn. I don't know how the fuck that dude stays in office, man.
I mean,
like, who realistically keeps voting for Gavin Newsom, man? Obviously,
the same people that voting for fucking Biden, dude. It's the same motherfuckers.
Like, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying it's because they're Democrat. I'm just saying it's because of who they are as people.
No, I know.
Like, like, come on, man. Like, Gavin Newsom's a piece of shit. Joe Biden's a piece of shit. We all know this, right? Like, they're literally just career criminals that wear a three-piece suit that got in fucking elected office or
and
whatever.
most of them all are either side, Democrat or Republican. But, like, come on. Like, I'm beginning to feel like there needs to at least be, like,
some limitation.
A kind of swap out on shit. Like, let one person fuck it up for a little bit and then give another guy a chance. Like, this extended period of time of just letting the same people run shit.
I've been here for 40 fucking years, man.
Yeah, dude, that shit's
40
too much.
fucking years. Fuck that
like,
shit.
What have you actually accomplished that was good for the people? Like, I want to see those lists.
I think once the generation, like, before, or, like, our older generation dies out, man, like our parents,
like the baby boomer.
Yeah, I think once they're gone, you're gonna see a radical fucking change in politics, and I think some of the crazy social issues that we just kind of make up, right? That all of our like politicians are like fucking getting hot and bothered over. I think they're starting that transition because they realize a younger generation like is really all about that shit. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they're trying to do, man. But it's making things like entirely
They're basically just trying to cater to the younger generation on all these stupid ass fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Beliefs.
I mean, what would you do, man? You'd be like, oh,
yeah, but a lot of them motherfuckers, they have tenure. Like, they can't be removed anyways.
In Congress?
No, not them. Like, the other, like, who the fuck is it? They're like...
Are you talking about, like teachers, and like professors and shit like that? Or?
I mean, them too, but there are people in our government that can't be removed.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking more of, like, just elected officials. I was like, yeah, we can just go to the next election. Like, this get...
But, I mean, a lot of times those motherfuckers, like, they just keep getting voted in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think there's going to be, whether it's for the better... Like, for the worse, I think there's going to be a very radical change in the next roughly decade. I don't think it's going to be this election. Definitely wasn't the last one. I don't think it'll be the one after that, maybe the one after that. But at some point, when we're like mid-age, man, like, late 40s, early 50s or something radical is going to fucking
next
change.
2 years.
Yeah. At the rate at which you're aging and shit, yeah. So I don't know, man.
There needs to be, I feel like there needs to be, like, a reevaluation on fucking term limits, man. Like,
yeah.
We need to be, because like we've said it a million times. Everybody who's running and everybody who's in those positions, they all fucking suck. So just stop letting people just run it for too long.
Well, my thing is like, so like in theory, like term limits are like, in my opinion, go against the Constitution. In my opinion, and the reason why is because if you want to have like a representative government, right? Like, so say insert whatever senator, right? That's for your district. You should have the right to elect that individual as long as they willingly run as many times as you want over and over. And if the majority of people are satisfied with his work, they should be able to do that. Well, the problem that you run into is that theory only really totally clicks when 100% of people participate in voting.
Yeah.
That does not fucking happen. That doesn't even happen during, like, the presidential, like, general elections and shit, right? When everyone shows up. Just look at how many people show up during primary elections. Most people, you're looking at, like, a shot in the dark. Maybe 20% of voters will actually show up.
Yep.
So you're saying roughly 1/5 of the voting population already, which is smaller than the fucking actual population, is controlling everything.
And just like YouTube commenters, everybody who shows up to vote is super fucking polarized. Like, they have strong beliefs on shit.
So I don't know. I know this kind of goes against like some more like libertarian views or whatever, but I almost feel like it should be a federal law to vote. That like everything shuts down for one day and we all go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, hey.
I don't
like,
know. I don't
but you should have the option to be like, essentially no comment. Like if you don't want to vote for anything, you can just say no.
That's okay. That's
but
fair.
you have to show up and you have to cast your vote.
That's fair.
Yeah, and it should be using biometrics too, like a thumb scan. And I'm kind of against that shit. I've always been against that shit. But here's the fucking reality, man. At least in the state of Texas, when you get a fucking driver's license, man, they scan your thumb to get it.
Yeah,
they've already got that shit. You know. So I mean, if you really want to just beat voter fraud,
China's already got all our shit anyway. So.
Yeah, if you want, especially ours, if you want to beat voter fraud and you want to have complete transparency, like 100%, man, that's how you do it. You force everyone to actually show up. But then,
if somebody's forced to vote, like if somebody is forced to show up. Yeah. Why would you not vote at that point? Like, if you have to do it, I guess you could be like, man, fuck this, like, just on principle, which I get it. But I mean, if I already had to if I have to do it, I'm gonna fucking vote. Like, I mean, I vote anyways, but you know what the fuck I'm saying.
But I also take the freedom of choice, like, over everything else, man. So I don't like the idea of being forced to do anything. So
yeah, it's kind of a fucking quite the conundrum.
But if you really want that true transparency, man, like, that's what you would have to do. And I think if that actually happened, I don't think the Democratic Party would actually really even exist. I mean, they would still be around, but like it wouldn't be. It would be a very radical change in government, 100%. Yeah. But then you're also assuming that people are actually educated in who these elected officials are, like, and who the candidates are running against them.
Yeah, we would be assuming wrong if we did.
Yeah, but I just think the Democrats would have a significant reduction, like, in power and influence and stuff like that.
I don't know. Because the average young person is a Democrat, so I guess it would depend on, like, we'd have to look into population statistics.
Yeah. I think it's also, like, regional too, man. I mean, I would say, like, overall the country, sure, absolutely. But I don't know, man. I feel like that shit's starting to fucking change, man. I really do. Like, I talk to, like, some of these younger people, and some of them are just like, fuck you. Like, I don't want to pay more money. I don't want to do all this shit. Like, why the fuck are we supporting all these, like, foreign, like, conflicts and wars?
I mean, eventually anyone that has half a fucking brain is gonna realize what's going on and get annoyed with it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but
again,
it's kind of cool.
We're assuming too much.
It's kind of cool being up, like, at the campus and shit, like at the college and stuff, and talking to, like, some of these, like, 22, 23-year-olds that are starting to come to those conclusions, you know. And it's just like, oh yeah, just wait, it gets worse.
Yeah.
When you hit about 30, you're gonna be like, fuck everything. Yeah, dude. And then you're gonna start a podcast. And, you know, and that's how it works. Fuck it, man. You want to keep beating this dead horse? You want to move on, man?
Let's move on. We got some new scandalous shit to talk about.
I'm just gonna keep being pissed off. I'm just sick as fuck. So, like, doing this, and I'm already just like, fuck it, whatever. Like, all this shit in the news. But next up on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, old P. Diddy, man. Sean Combs, that guy's in some shit, man.
Allegedly,
right? But in the words of 50 Cent, they don't bring what do you say? They don't bring the feds like that unless they got a case.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I mean, valid point.
Yeah. You just want to jump into the video and then we just talk about it? Probably be easier, yeah.
Allie, and tonight we are starting with that dramatic situation happening as we speak in both LA and Miami Beach at the homes of Sean Diddy Combs. You know him as Diddy, formerly Puff Daddy, big-time rapper, big-time producer, big-time superstar, and now the feds at his houses in both locations. This is a live look right now. On the left, that's West Coast, that's LA. On the right, that's Miami Beach you're looking at. I want to show you in just the last couple of minutes in LA, agents holding what look to be guns as they walk into the home, as they enter the home, and you can see some of the apparatus there that they've brought. I want to get to Dana Griffin, who is following this for us now. Why is this happening? What do we know?
Hallie, still, as you mentioned, this is a developing story, so we're learning new details minute by minute. NBC News has confirmed that this is a raid being conducted by Homeland Security and that the warrant specifically came out of the Southern District of New York. Now, we believe this is tied to sex trafficking allegations. There's an investigation into claims that that the rapper may have been involved in this. So we believe this is connected to that. But obviously, what a split screen moment here to see investigations not only in Miami, but also Los Angeles, which shows that this was very coordinated and planned. And remember, when it comes to warrants, these aren't things that are just done haphazardly.
Right?
This had to be signed by a judge, so this was obviously
from
very
the hip.
methodical. And this is a sprawling home here in California. This is located in the Holmby Hills area, a very wealthy area. That home that we can see from that sky cam is massive, sprawling, and we don't know exactly what they are looking for. It could be something as small as a USB drive, or it could be several boxes of documents that could prove
check his basement.
Prove his guilt or prove his innocence. So, and you mentioned those guns that we saw law enforcement carrying. It sounds like that's pretty routine because they're going into.
Well,
so it's Homeland Security. Like
that's not good, man. Because that involves like dealing with shit leaving the country or coming into the country and stuff, man. So
which would That's
could
the
be
sex
digital,
trafficking stuff,
it could be physical things, it could be digital, whatever, but fuck, man. I know like DHS, man, like I know they do a lot of stuff with like as far as like against like sex crimes, like online stuff and shit like that, right? Like they have like a lot of task force that focus around that or whatever. But yeah, dog, I don't know, man. That they ain't coming to your house. Like, and the woman was just like, oh, they might just be looking for like a USB drive. They ain't rolling like that looking for a USB drive, dude. Like, that was like armored personnel carriers and shit. Like, that was like tactical fucking SWAT teams.
And I mean, there's multiple allegations from various women.
Well, it's two of his ex like partners, right? Like he was in like relationships with these women and shit. At least one of them that I was reading.
It's more than that because there's one person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like it's, and then plus, like we talked about, I don't know if it's true or not, but Justin Bieber was saying he was doing some stuff to him.
Yeah,
and Usher.
Yeah, so P. Diddy's had a weird thing. It's kind of like was like a running joke, almost a conspiracy. Once again, hey man, no smoke without a fire, dude. That's like my number one saying. And so years ago, man, like really when podcasting started becoming a thing, dude, like P. Diddy, it came out that P. Diddy, I think Usher was one of the first guys who really blew the lid off of it. Was just really fucking weird, man, because he's a music producer. The guy's worth over $1 billion. Yeah. Okay, and he's made a shit ton of well, he's in a lot of movies, but
he's got his own
music.
He's got his own label.
Yeah, and I mean, he grew up like the height of like hip hop and rap, East Coast, West Coast, all that shit. I mean, like he recorded like Biggie and Tupac and stuff like that, man. So he's been around for a while. Sorry. But so whenever he got his label made, like he started like obviously like any other label starts recruiting new talent, right? It just so happens they were all like early teenage boys, right? Yeah. And so one of them was Justin Bieber, another one was Usher, and he was like having them. Either some of them did, and then there was other ones that didn't, but he was like soliciting to come live with him. Like, you just live in my mansion with me.
He's like, we'll record all the time. I'll make you a star. Man.
And he would like buy him gifts and shit. There was like something, I think it was for like Bieber's 14th or 15th birthday party. Like, he couldn't even drive. Like, P. Diddy bought him like a white Lamborghini. And it's like, this kid, like, what are you doing here, man? And like, I get it. Like, if you see talent, sure, like if you're like a production company and you're like, yeah, like this is somebody who's really talented and we're going to create this pop star or whatever that's going to cater to like a younger generation, fine, but there's an appropriate way to handle that versus what he was doing was fucking weird, man.
But you, like on top of it all, like what were the parents doing?
That's my thing,
that's kind of weird, man. Like you're gonna let your son go live with a grown man in a
45, 50-year-old
that's
man
rich as shit. Like
fucking
that's weird.
Dude. And I don't know, man. It's fucking it's so awkward. And even then, like if I owned a production company that made movies or music or whatever, and I would be so careful. Like, if there was, like, a scene where there was, like, a little kid said something fucked up or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, some whatever it may be. Or if you had to deal with an underage actor, right?
Yeah.
It would be, like, legal guardians are involved. Like, we're signing documentation. We're filming at all fucking times. Like, they are always in your presence.
I always
like,
thought, like,
always
most
on
child stars, like, their parents were on set.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of them have to be. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. So he was clearly doing some like weird grooming shit, man.
Yeah.
And then like the thing is, like, Bieber never really went into detail, but he just said that like he just kind of backed away from like Diddy for like a while. Like, well, like basically just parted ways.
Until he was over 18.
And then Diddy was acting like he just got dumped. Like, he was just like, why don't you call me? Like, call me.
I
Like,
miss you.
Yeah, he was like calling him out at like parties and stuff. And like, he'd get on like on microphones and be like, you know, Justin, he's like, Bieber's just like too good for me now. Like, you know, like I was good to him. He just don't want to hang out anymore. Like, you know, and it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like,
Yeah.
but for decades, there's been allegations that P. Diddy being like involved in like some weird sex rings and shit like that. A lot of gay sex rings too, man, specifically. So I think it's really interesting that these allegations have come out, but what has me confused is like he hasn't been formally charged with anything.
No, because as of 3 days ago, his lawyers said that he has not been arrested and he's still allowed to leave the country.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So
how was his house raided? Like, were they not looking for him to arrest at that time? Like, I don't know. I don't really understand.
Because like, so some of his ex-partners, they filed civil suits, not criminal suits, because statute of limitations had already surpassed. Under the state of New York, under the what's called the Adult Survivors Act, right? Which is no longer in effect. It was like a temporary thing they had set up where you could essentially file, say you were a victim of like sexual assault, you could file a civil suit regardless of the statute of limitations for the criminal trial, right? Or for the criminal charge.
Yeah.
So it could have been...
it was more of a money...
Yeah, so this is like how Gene Carroll was getting money out of like Trump. Like, be like, oh, this happened fucking, I don't know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? Whereas the statute of limitations may be 10 years for like a criminal case. So a lot of his ex-lovers did that, and they made some bold statements. I'm not saying they're not true. If anything, I probably think they might be.
Yeah,
considering
I mean, who knows?
Armored personnel carriers with like federal agents show up to like both his mansion in Miami and Los Angeles.
Yeah. If you got Homeland Security coming to your house, like,
you're fucked.
They're not gonna show up unless they have something on you. Like, they're not just gonna. They're gonna like.
Or maybe he has something they want.
Maybe.
Because I heard like rumors too, man, that like he had some Epstein level shit going on, not necessarily with minors, right? Because
just sex trafficking.
Yeah,
stuff.
this is all like speculation. No one really knows.
Yeah.
No one's given like an official statement or anything.
And especially apparently if he hasn't been arrested yet, so that is
not even detained. Yeah. That's the crazy part, right? And so allegedly he was like filming a lot of this shit and stuff like that. And so I don't know, maybe he just has something they want.
Like,
and that's what that was about.
Maybe he has a video of something or of someone.
Yeah. And I dude, mark my fucking words. If it's completely independent of the Epstein shit, that's wild, right? But like we've talked about on this show many fucking times, super wealthy people are fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Like you just they don't even talk like normal human beings. They don't laugh, like they're weird, man. But if it happened independent of the Epstein shit, I would like to say, oh, that's some wild shit. But I definitely am leaning more towards the fact that some way, somehow, those are interconnected.
Even if he was like, hey, that Epstein, he's got it going on. I'm going to make my own. I'm going to fucking do what he's doing.
But I heard Diddy fled the country, though.
That's what I heard, too, but then...
Because he posted pictures of him on his jet, and like he made a comment like, come and get it, or some shit like that. I don't know, man.
He flew to Epstein's Island.
He's down there. He's like, we getting this party just started, right? I don't fucking know, man. It's fucking weird.
He's hiding out in Bohemian Grove.
There's a lot of weird shit starting to come out, man, because you had the Epstein shit, right? And then...
Which was still never solved.
No.
Like,
they released the flight logs. The flight logs were a distraction.
The flight logs were bullshit.
Yeah, they were a total distraction. They wanted everyone hung up on the flight logs. But what no one has ever fucking asked is what happened to all those recordings that he had. Our government is in possession of those, and nothing has happened about that shit. And so... you had the Epstein shit. Now you got the P. Diddy shit coming out, right? And then now you got this new documentary on Hulu, which I haven't seen yet. I've only heard about, but it's about that whole Nickelodeon shit going down, man.
Yeah.
And that's just fucking weird, man. Like, so I just think the entertainment industry, like Hollywood, like old school Hollywood,
Shit's messed up, man.
there was a lot of fucked up shit going on, man. And
It's always like they're messing up. They're doing shit to kids, dude. That's disgusting.
yeah, man. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I saw like little clips of some of these things, man, like these like shows or whatever. And dude, just some of the shit, because these are like child star actors. Like, I remember seeing them on the Nickelodeon channel.
Oh yeah,
and then
the Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Kenan and Kel,
they
all
grew
that.
up.
Yeah,
and they talk about it now, man. And I'm like, the entire time they're talking, I'm like, dude, there is no fucking way. Like, if I had a child, like, there is no fucking way I would ever subject him to that shit, man. So I don't know, but there's just weird shit going on, dude. And the more you look and the more it comes out, the more this shit is always connected and these people know each other.
Yeah.
Like, what is that fucking photo with Oprah Winfrey we were laughing about?
Yeah, I don't remember. There's a photo. It's 4 different pictures, but it's Oprah with Epstein, Oprah with P. Diddy, and then there's 2 other guys who have convicted sexual charges on them as well.
Yeah.
And it was like, somebody needs to be asking some questions around here.
Start looking at this chick's fucking
Yeah.
background, you know? So, I don't know. Where's the kids at in Maui, Oprah? Why'd you burn down the island, Oprah? You know?
What's with the blue roofs?
But I don't know, man. It's a crazy world, man. But like, hey, I think we covered it on the last episode, dude. Corruption is a lot more common than what people realize, dude.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I just want to touch back on that Nickelodeon thing one more fucking time, dude. You know what fucking blew my mind? I saw a picture of Epstein's Island, like on a map, right? And then the logo, the splat for Nickelodeon, is the exact same shape of that island.
Is it really?
It's 100%. There's even like a little side island to the main island, and it even has like a dot. Like it's 100% identical to it, man. Yeah, dude. I don't know, because it's almost like they try to flaunt it in your face or whatever. Like, oh, you're too stupid.
Well, hell, I
to
mean,
realize.
like their other logo was a foot, and the dude had a major foot fetish.
Yeah. That, and apparently that's not even like a conspiracy. Those are people
it was
actually talking.
Yeah,
about
well, they
it.
said I got clipped like parts of it. They said they found like that even the child actors would be like, yeah, he would take like hundreds of pictures of our feet.
Dude, what the fuck, man?
Side note, I don't understand why people like feet so much. I don't get
it's
that
nasty.
shit.
It's nasty, motherfucking nasty.
To each their own, but I don't get that shit.
I'm not king shaming, but god damn, that's gross.
Your toes. What's so cool about that shit, man? I don't get it.
That's one thing I could never wrap my head around. I mean, like, some things I could see, but like, oh, it's a power thing or whatever, a submissive thing.
like,
you know, like whatever, insert whatever, like,
I
little
don't
kink or
understand what's
fetish.
attractive about a
But
foot.
fucking feet? Nah.
I don't get it.
Nah, man.
I don't get it.
But I don't know. Like I said, there's always no smoke without a fire, and this shit is just way more corrupt and way more connected than what people realize, man. And I mean, I think there's only 6 degrees of separation between you and every other fucking human being on the face of the planet. Is a theory behind that.
And if you're an elite, it's like less than that.
Yeah, imagine if you're in the top 1%.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's only like a few thousand of us that actually really control the world. Like, I'm not even saying the Illuminati's real. I'm just saying, like, put those...
Like, in general, the people with the most money control the shit. So.
Yeah. Like, I bet, even though I don't think they really like each other, like Bezos and Musk, I bet they have each other's personal cell phone numbers, can call each other, like, drop of a hat.
For sure.
You know, like... So
now, if they're gonna answer, who knows? But they're gonna leave a voicemail. But yeah, you know, they have means of immediately getting a hold of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's almost like they have to, man.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. We're gonna keep going down conspiracy lane.
Yeah, because this one is this one really just elevates everything.
This brings it to a whole other level. This is a good way to end this episode, right? This is a pissed off episode where we've just been ranting forever today. But I don't know. Do you want to take the lead on this one, man? My throat's starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah,
Got a
so
cough, too.
basically, in recent news, apparently about 6 days ago, there was a Russian terror attack that happened in a theater, and it killed at least 137 people, man.
Was it a theater or a mall?
It was a theater. It was a theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the old school, like
amphitheater.
Yeah. Yep. But there was 4 shooters so that they've arrested. I don't know. There's a video. We'll watch it, but it shows some of the gunfire and stuff.
So terrorist attack in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Mass shooting.
Now the question is, who are the terrorists?
And why?
Why?
Dun, 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 dun.
This morning, Russia continues to question who was behind the deadly concert hall attack in Moscow. 4 men have been charged, all from Tajikistan. Their faces bruised and swollen in court. This man apparently unconscious. As ISIS claims responsibility for the attack on Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin claims without evidence the men were headed to Ukraine, where people there were preparing to let them cross the border. Vice President Kamala Harris with ABC's Rachel Scott.
Does the U.S. have any evidence to back that up?
No, there is no whatsoever any evidence, and in fact what we know to be the case is that ISIS-K is actually, by all accounts, responsible for what happened.
Ukraine has repeatedly denied playing any role. On Saturday, a U.S. State Department official said the U.S. did share information with Russia about a possible attack. The Russian ambassador to the United States denying that happened, saying no concrete information, nothing was transferred to us. Yesterday, a national day of mourning in Russia. Hundreds of people gathering outside the concert hall. As inside, first responders cleared debris. During the attack, the building was set on fire. This comes as a 15-year-old boy is being called a hero. In video released by Russian state TV, it shows Islam Khalilov saving dozens of people, leading them away from the gunfire. All 4 men who have been charged are facing terrorism charges. They have been ordered to remain in pre-trial detention for at least 2 months. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Bro, you about to go to trial in Russia? When they know you did that shit and they got video evidence?
Yeah, like you got caught.
Fucked, dude. You are fucked, man. Holy shit, man.
So ISIS-K, which is the new terrorist 2.0 shit, is claiming responsibility.
Kind of funny because I was in Iraq whenever we declared victory over ISIS.
How's that working out for us?
Yeah, I mean, we were still bombing them while we were there, and I was like, they were like, oh yeah, we just hit like an ISIS target or whatever, like bombing raids, and I'd be like, what was that whole victory over ISIS thing? So I don't know.
This is ISIS-K, man. It's a new group.
It's this new group, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So I just gotta ask you, Moses. On face value, do you believe this for what it is? It's ISIS, Splinter Cell, radical, just want to commit a mass shooting, whatever.
I mean, the people were from what country?
I think it said
Kyrgyzstan?
No, Kyrgyzstan?
No, it wasn't Kyrgyzstan.
It wasn't Kyrgyzstan?
No.
You can make it pull it up, man. Be sure.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to get it right, at least,
I know,
if we're going
their nationality.
The men were headed to Ukraine, where people there were preparing to let them... As ISIS claims responsibility for the attack on Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin claims without evidence the men were headed to Ukraine, where people there were preparing to let them cross the border. Vice President Kamala Harris with ABC's Rachel Scott.
Damn,
4 men have been charged, all from Tajikistan.
Tajikistan.
That's what it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I don't know. Do you think it's as simple as just like 4 dudes? I mean, I've already gone down like a little bit of the, not entirely, but I've gone down the conspiracy rabbit hole a little bit with this already. But I just want to ask you, face value, what do you think on this shit, man?
So, I mean, it sounds like a terrorist attack. The only thing that's questionable in my mind is, does Ukraine have anything to do with it? Like, I don't know. Where else were they coming? If they were coming through and like gonna get them back to their home country, or they were gonna hide in Ukraine, or like what was the plan here? I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just gonna table all my conspiracy shit for a minute, right? Legitimately, say this was like some splinter bullshit cell of fucking ISIS, right? And they did this obviously it's horrible. Mass shootings are like.
This is a big one.
Yeah, and like mass shootings are like, it's just like the most pussy way, man. Like, come on, man. It's like there's
killing innocent people. It's bullshit.
Yeah, man. You know. But sorry, man. My throat is just killing me. But So, people were like, hey, like, they were running towards Ukraine or whatever. So say they're like legit, just, splinter cell of ISIS. They commit like a terrorist act in Russia or whatever, which, like face value, there's probably some legitimacy to that because Russia does bomb a shit ton in the Middle East, just like we do. They bomb the fuck in Syria, like nonstop, man. But, so who fucking knows, really? But, they said that, hey, they were running towards Ukraine, and they were like, oh, this is a conspiracy theory, like these guys were heading to Ukraine. I'm just putting myself in their shoes. If I committed a fucking major crime in Russia, one of the countries I'm going to make sure is not cool with Russia. Because I'm going to make sure I'm not coming back to Russia.
If I'm going to put myself in their shoes, if I would have done something that terrible, I'm just running. I ain't thinking about where the hell I'm going. I'm just
getting
running.
out of there. Yeah, dude.
I may have happened to be running in the direction of Ukraine. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm in Russia. Those guys obviously aren't Russian citizens. They don't know what the hell. They don't know their surroundings. They probably just took off in any direction that seemed good at the time.
Yeah. Well, there's theories there's a lot of shit floating around on X, man, and X is like freedom of speech 100%. So you got to be skeptical on some shit, man. But there's some theories that these guys were patsies, that they were hired by the Ukrainian government to do this to continue to fuel tension, right? Because they knew Russia would be like, hey, the Ukrainians did this.
And they would be like, what a better way than if we actually did it.
We keep getting money and weapons and we build up our stockpile, and all we got to do is just hire like 4 patsies and then just get like 137 Russians killed. Like, that's no skin off our ass.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I find it hard to believe, and how secure Russia is, man. I just find it hard to believe, man, that is just genuine. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's something else going on there, man. Like, who gave them the weapons? Like, how do they get the money to buy all that shit?
I mean,
how do they pay for the transportation there? How do they do all that? Like, who finances this shit?
Dude,
do you think they just work their asses off?
I asked the same question about how these fucking migrants get from Africa to Texas. Like, I flew on 3 airplanes, 16 buses, a train, 2 cars, and 6 Ubers, man. Like, I don't like how.
It's like, how the fuck did you pay for this?
They're like,
man?
This shit cost $10,000 to get here. If you had $10,000 in some African third world shithole, dude, you're living like a king. Like, why would you want to leave that?
Fuck it, dude. I'm holding Capital One. Personally responsible. They're giving credit to everyone, man. Yeah, but I mean, these are interesting questions. It's like, where did people get these weapons? Because like I remember when I was like deployed to Iraq, man. Like we help EOD like blow up some weapons that were seized from ISIS and stuff, and a lot of these mortars were brand new out of a box, man. And I was like, whoa, hold on, this is coming from a developed nation.
Yeah,
like this isn't like some shit. Like some dude cooked up in a shack somewhere. Like, this is like legit engineering behind this. Like this, it
has the factory stamp on it.
yeah. I was like, who is giving this to these guys? You know what I mean? So, but no one ever had an answer. No one ever had an answer for that.
No one ever does.
Because you start asking questions like, like who keeps supply? Because if you take the weapons out of the conflict just goes away.
Yeah.
Like essentially, I mean, the people will be pissed off, but I mean, you ain't gonna have mass shootings and stuff like that, but. I don't know, man. I definitely think there's something going on with that, and I wouldn't put it past just me personally. I wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine had something to do with that shit.
Okay, so here's another way to look at it. What if Russia did it to themselves just so they could blame Ukraine?
To justify more?
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, yeah, really.
It ain't like it is not above Putin to murder some innocent people. So
yeah, but like the only reason like I really think that Ukraine would probably be behind it compared to like Russia is because all of the declassified documents that have come out about the CIA in the United States, because we're clearly operating there. Like that's already come out. That's already been released. Like we have NATO like troops in fucking Ukraine. We don't have a lot. They're all special operators and shit, but they are there.
We also got 3 other countries that are debating on sending just straight up troops to Ukraine anyway. So
So I look at like all these false flag operations that happen. The famous one is Operation Northwoods, man, where like the CIA literally, like JFK was looking for a reason to go to war with Cuba, right? Because the Soviets were obviously trying to set up nuclear sites like right off our coastline.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
So he was like, maybe we need an excuse to go down there and like essentially invade.
Rough him up a bit.
And the CIA came and gave him a game plan for a hypothetical scenario where fucking Cuban like rebels hijacked a fucking airliner and then crashed it into like public buildings in America. Literally was the exact same game plan for 9/11. And JFK apparently got really fucking pissed and was like, get the fuck out of my office. Like, don't ever bring that shit up again. Like, yeah, dude.
But Bush was like, well, that's a pretty good plan.
I'll sign it, Dick. You say it's good, I'll sign it. That's probably what happened. But
you're like, you know what we need more of? These guys.
I'm still working on our 9/11. What's up? Called it a quadrilogy, I guess. It's probably gonna be like 4 2-hour episodes, which will be independent of our regular weekly shows. So,
yeah.
But it's gonna be a lot, man. Like, I don't know. It's gonna take us a while to get through that one, man. But I'm writing that.
There's just so much. There's so much to cover. There's so many angles.
Well, I'm trying to be completely like. So I'm starting off. Well. Yeah. So like yeah. I mean, essentially, I'm starting off with like the straight up facts. Like, here's what our government has released. This is the official statement.
Facts.
And then go on into like various conspiracies. But now it's getting into like what I'm writing is bleeding into like history, like between like the United States and certain countries and stuff like that. So it's starting to even go back to like the 50s and shit.
Bin Laden's role, or like even before
like
that.
How his family got all that money because they were defense contractors for the U.S. government.
And how we trained him.
Mm-hmm. And when you still go to our military bases in Kuwait, like there's signs on the buildings that say built by the Bin Laden family. Whatever. You gives a shit. But anyway, back to fucking...
Steel doesn't melt.
Yeah, back to Moscow, man. So I don't know. I just don't think it's as simple as like 4 goons got in a car with a shit ton of guns and bullets and just ran into a theater and just sprayed. I don't think it's that simple, man. But also, here's the thing, man. Okay, so let's say, you're saying Russia probably did it to themselves, right?
I'm not saying probably. I'm just saying that's another way of looking at it.
All right, so for like just a thought experiment, like you take that stance, okay? And then I'll take the stance that Ukraine was behind it, right? So in my stance, I would say maybe, so they killed 137 people. Maybe 136 of those people didn't matter to them. Maybe they were going after one person specifically.
Okay, so it was like an assassination.
Yeah, it was a hit job, but we don't want it to look like an assassination on one person. We'll make it look like a mass shooting.
I could see that.
That's
with that thought logic, Russia would have no problem doing that kind of shit either.
Yeah, I know. It's all of it fucking goes out the window when you add Russia into it, because you know they'll do anything. But one of these guys, man, I saw a fucked up video on X, man. They caught one of these guys on the run. Like, he was running through the forest, heading in the direction of Ukraine.
Going to Ukraine.
Yeah, which, like, realistically, I don't know. Like, realistically, he was probably just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he was just booking it through the woods.
Yeah,
and he just happened to be going that direction. Yeah. You know? But, yeah, they caught that motherfucker and they cut his fucking ear off. And I didn't see the... Well, all right. They cut his fucking ear off, and I saw the video of him being arrested and dragged out of the woods, and he's clearly missing an ear and bleeding like a motherfucker, and allegedly they made him eat it before they fucking got out of there. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Oh, it's fucked, man. I mean, dude, X is a fucking wild place, man.
I said eat it.
X is a wild place, man. Have you seen, like, what they're doing to, like, Russian soldiers and shit on the Ukrainian border now?
Nuh-uh.
It is almost medieval tortures taking place now. Like, when people are, like, disobeying or insubordinate and shit like that, like, they have, I can't remember the name they use. They literally dig holes, and they have, like, literally rebar, like, fucking cage tops on top of it. And they'll strip them down, like, spray them with water, and they make them stay in that hole for, like, days on end without food.
With only their head sticking out of the thing?
No. They're just walking around, like, in a hole, right?
Oh, okay.
It's a big-ass
hole. It's like a cage, basically?
But it's cold as fuck. So it's all like constant pain of like hyperthermia and shit. Yeah. And then, dude, there's I don't even know if I even really want to talk about like some of the other shit, man. Like where it's been like forced rapes.
Oh god.
And shit where like someone was insubordinate, so they would make somebody else from like their platoon rape them in front of like their commanding officers to show dominance and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'd be like, can I use the barrel of a gun, man? Like I don't want to do this.
There's weird shit. Yeah, that whole rape scenario that I heard about, they did it to 4 guys, and it was because they found a couple of bottles of wine and they got drunk while they were out there. And I was just like, dude,
dereliction
what the fuck?
of duty.
And I mean, these are all like independent journalists and stuff. Like these guys don't work for major corporations, and they cite all their sources, and they're like, hey, like this is what we have, and some of them have like video and like photographic evidence. They'll blur out like some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like apparently the Russians are like, that's a fucking crazy military to deal with. It's like, holy fuck, man. I really, when I was watching that shit, like reading it, I was like, this is like some medieval like torture shit taking place.
I mean, they got to rule by fear, dude. They can't have their troops backing out on them. Like, they got to know. I mean,
did you ever see that
consequences on that shit?
Did you ever see that video of like the Russians trying to like desert or whatever? Oh no, it was the Ukrainians. Sorry. So there was like a bunch of like Ukrainian men that were trying to like get out of Ukraine or whatever, because now they're just like forcing you to be in the military.
Yeah.
And so it's like a bread van or whatever. There's like 40 dudes packed to the brim in this fucking shit, man. And so apparently their military like opens it up and they just start pulling out guys, and it almost looks like the whole circus show of like clowns getting out of their car. Like, dude, and they're just yanking these guys out because they were
slapping a helmet on them.
Yeah. I think they were deserters. I think they were trying to just like get out of the military and like leave or whatever, you know, which
draft dodgers.
Fuck, dude. It's a wild fucking place over there, man. What do you think the outcome of that shit is?
I don't see it being solved anytime soon, man. I think it's just going to be a like Afghanistan 2.0. Like just another drawn out fucking war for no reason.
Yeah, but
just blasting through our reasources.
We got to stop giving them money, man.
Yeah.
We got to stop doing that shit. Like we've given them enough. We gave them a fucking fighting chance. They did a lot of work on their own to like to fucking fight off the Russians. At this fucking point, dog, that's all you, man. That ain't us, man. Like, I'm sorry.
Like Putin said it. Biden has said, he's literally like, he said World War III. Like Putin has said World War III.
Well, like
unnecessary,
the thing
man.
is, like Putin is given like parameters. He's just like, if this happens, then World War III would occur. And then it's like Biden will turn around the next day and be like, we're gonna do that. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, this is not U.S. territory. These are not U.S. allies.
Yeah.
Stop dragging us into this shit, man. So, I don't fucking know, man. But you know what? I don't give a shit, man. I'm still calling it like I see it. I know I'm sick, and I've been fucking bitching about a bunch of crap because it's been nothing but shitty news all week. But, I'm optimistic about the goddamn future, man.
At the end of the day, that's all we got left. Positivity.